Hey guys, wanna welcome you back to the Sensu Pub channel. Last week we talked about the most hyped deck that came out from BT13 Supreme Rivalry. This week we are gonna be talking about my favorite deck coming out from the set. It is gonna be the Yellow Androids. No kidding though, this is really the deck that I can play for hours and hours on hand and not get bored of it. I know I talk about this, I mentioned in the review video that this might be a deck that I'm gonna enjoy playing, but I wasn't prepared on how much I actually enjoy playing this deck. But before we move on to the deck profile and mechanics breakdown, let us do a short evaluation to see if this deck is for you, so that you kind of don't have to waste time watching the video if you realize that maybe this deck is not for you. I'm gonna ask some questions and you said whether is it yes or no. Alright, so let's start with question number 1. Question number 1, do people often describe you as being annoying? And question number 2, do you enjoy consuming salty beverages made out of the tears of your opponents? If your answers to all those questions is a yes, yes, and a resounding yes, then congratulations, this deck is definitely for you. Alright, so stay with me, continue watching the video, see you guys after the short intro. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back from the intro. Today we'll be taking a look at Android 17 and Android 18, the new Android leader from the new set. Are they good? I think they're very good. They are very good, but I don't expect them to be meta. But what I can guarantee you is this, that if you're playing this deck, you are gonna be enjoying yourself. I really enjoy myself. This is one of the decks that I mentioned in the intro. I can play again and again for hours, and I don't need to change the deck because I really thoroughly enjoy it. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is that I'm gonna talk about the leader, and I'm gonna take you through how to play this deck and tell you some of the card options that you can do. Alright, so but after that, if you have some questions, feel free, put it down in the comment section, and I can reply and answer your questions if you do have any questions more, or some tech options that you would like to suggest. I'm pretty active when it comes to like replying comments in this YouTube channel. Sometimes maybe 1 or 2 days delay because I'm busy with some other things, but eventually I do come around to answer it. Alright, so Android 17 and 18, when this card attacks, look up to top 5, pick a yellow Android cards, add it into your hands. Really good. There's 2 ways for this card to flip over to the other side. One is by the Awaken skill, which is easy, which that means when you're 4 or less life, untap 2 energy, flip it over. Or use an auto when one of your mono yellow battle card, Android battle cards, switch to rest mode by a skill. You may flip your card over, draw 1 card, untap 1 energy, flip it over, and then you add cards from your life to your hands until you have 4 lives left. So be careful about doing this, because sometimes against aggressive deck you might not want to do this, because you're still instead of using those cards to combo, you are taking those cards into your hands. But if you're facing aggressive decks like critical and stuff, maybe you want to do that, so it's easier to defend against 15 than defending against with 10. Yeah, so different scenarios, depends on how you want to use it. But it is the leader's backside that is really good. The permanent, during your opponent's turn, all your mono yellow Android cards, they get an extra 5k. This is very annoying to deal with though. Your 15k becomes 20, your 20 becomes 20, 25, and your 30 becomes 35. Really horrible, annoying. They're just much more difficult to take out with combat, okay? So, and the other thing is, when this card attacks, you may draw a card. If you don't choose to draw a card, you get to play a 1-drop Android cards from your drop area to your battle area in rest mode, but with their skills intact, which is really important because a lot of them, they come back into active modes anyway, so it is totally fine. Activate main once per turn. You get to choose your yellow Android battle cards and switch it to rest mode. If you do so, you choose one of your opponent's battle card in rest mode and negate the skills for the turn. How good is this skill? It is really good and very annoying. When you test out, when you're playing against your opponent has something nasty that has activate battle, or like when you come into play, that type of effect, this is really good. Yep, but make sure it's in rest mode. However, there's just so many ways for us to switch a card to rest mode in this deck, okay? So let's talk about all your 1-drop options, because remember, when your leader attacks, either you draw a card or you play a 1-drop Android cards from your drop area to your battle area. The thing is, that is the one that you want to do. For example, let's take one of the most important card. This is a card that you want in your turn 1 and you want it into your drop area. Android 16, Mechanical Partner. This guy is your searcher. When you play him, you get to look up to top 5 and you pick a yellow Android card, 3 or less, add it into your hands, or your Unison card and add it into your hand. And once per turn, if this card is played or switch it to rest mode, you switch it back to active mode and against blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So when your leader just says, okay, play this card in rest mode, no. So instead, so you can choose. Either you swing and your leader draws 1, or the other one, it's you play this card from drop area, it comes back in rest mode, but because it's played, it's switched to active. Against blocker, you look up to top 5 and find a card that you need and put it into your hands. Which one would you choose? I would choose this one because it is in active mode. You can use your leader's ability or other things to switch him so that you can make the other skills skillless also. So it's easy, it's really nice. It's something that I really like. So really, you don't want to draw 1 with your leader. Don't do that, alright? Always play a yellow Android from a drop area. Okay, so let's talk about the second one, which is Android 20 Skill Absorber. The bad part about this guy is that you do not get to switch it to active mode because there is no auto for him to do that. But when this card is played, you get to draw a card. That's by default. Your leader is going to draw a card anyways, so why not you play him? But when you play him, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card. Doesn't need to be in rest mode, it just needs to be 5 or less and negate the skills for the turn. So basically a swing, draw a card and negate a skill from one of your opponent's battle card. Is it good? It's really good. So if your opponent has blocker and things like that, something a little bit more annoying because you're going aggro, this is the card that you want to play, alright? And the other card that I have, it's Android 19 Bionic Punisher Unleashed. When you swing, when do you want to pick this card? When you pick this card, you get to draw a card, and then you get to choose one of your opponent's skillless battle card in rest mode and KO it. Boom, and it's gone. Easy. One of the cards that I think about playing, but I have not played it, is definitely this guy, because I think I will switch out 2 cards to play 2 of this just for consistency. Because this card, you don't need any energy, you just need to discard this card and another yellow Android card into your drop area. You're gonna play a lot of 1 drop from your drop area anyways. You look up to top 7 and pick 2 Android cards that you need and put it into your hands. Android 16 is the card that you want to use in turn 1, so making sure that you have the card in turn 1, it's also really good. So Android 20 Mechanical Patriarch, and also a big shout out to Planet Sadala Bastian from Planet Sadala for sending me this one. I really have to play it now, right? So a big shout out to him, and yeah, thank you for this cards. Okay, so let's take a look at your aggressive option. All these things are kind of like control, but this card is Android 16 going all out. This is your aggro option. Okay, once per turn. When you play him from your drop, this is a card that you really don't want to play from the drop area. What you want is you want to have it in your hands. When this card is switched to rest mode, because it does not have a come into play effect, you don't get to draw a card. So maybe you want to play him from your hands. When this card is switched to rest mode by one of the yellow card skill, you get to switch this card to active mode, and it gets plus 11k power until the start of the next main phase. So when you play this card for 1 energy, use your leader's ability, tap him, or use one of your other's ability to tap him. There is another ability where you can tap him. He comes back active and it becomes a 20k. Until the end of your turn though, it's until your next main phase. That means during your opponent's turn, he is still a 20k. And with your leader's permanent ability, it is a 25k. 1 drop 25k. Why not? Alright, so it is pretty good. Activate main once per turn. You tap 1, you choose 1 yellow Android, tap it. Remember, you can tap the other 1 drop 16. Comes back active and gains blocker. You look up to your deck and then you find a 3 drop skillless card and then you play it. Alright, so these are your 2 options. You have an Android 17 and then you have an Android 18, both 30k. You're gonna swing with them anyways, and 30k, if they don't negate, they are gonna be taking the damage. Alright. And let's talk about your Unison. How important is this Unison in this deck? This is the main backbone of the deck. That is why you want to make sure you have, if you have a Unison card in your mulligan, take it. Don't discard this this Unison. You really want to keep it alive. That 1 drop really helps you to search for it. Usually I have it. and I've never had a game where I don't have my Unison. Okay, so Android 13 robotic Unity, it has rejuvenate, but I've never used this before, so I'm not going to talk about this. So let's talk about the activate main. Once per turn, choose one of your yellow Android battle cards, switch it to rest mode. You know, you can switch all this one drop into rest mode, they all have an effect. Then you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card in rest mode, skillless, and place it under the deck. Not KO, not doing anything. You just take the card and put it under your deck. So if there's cards that says, okay, cannot be KO'd and stuff like that, good luck. They don't have skills anyway, so regardless. And he's able, once per turn, able to absorb something under him. And activate main one, choose up to one of your yellow Android card with energy cost 3 or less and switch it to active mode. This is one of the ability that you don't have to switch any of your Android cards, right? All you have to do is you choose one of your Android cards 3 or less and switch it to active mode. What you can choose, you swing with your 30k skillless card, then after that blast 1, comes back active and swing again 2 times. Why not? Swing with this guy 15, swing with your leader 15. Why not? It is pretty good. And all those cards in rest mode, all your battle cards in rest mode, it's gonna get a additional plus 5k. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what's another effect is until the start of your next turn, reduce the combo cost of all mono yellow Android cards with energy cost of 1, original cost of 1, and in your hands. And so that when you're playing it from your hand, you can do the minus, not from your board, only from your hand. So what are the options? These are the 2 options, Android 17 and Android 18 Sibling Strike. They are 15k, again in rest mode, it is a 20k. Activate main once per turn, you tap one of your other Android skill. Android 17 can play a 3-drop Android 18. Android 18 can play a 3-drop Android 17. Usually, of course, the skillless cards are your target if you have it in your hands, but one of the targets that you have is definitely this new rare card, Android 17 and 18 Demonic Duo, because they are both Android 17 and 18, ain't it? So you can use 18 to play him, or you can use Android 17 to play him. How good is this card? Low-key good, because okay, it has deflect, so your opponent cannot counterplay against it, which is really good in this stuff, in this particular meta. And if your leader card is yellow at the end, don't do the 2 plus 10k. And this is not a 1 plus 10k with the Unison skill though, because the Unison only reduces an original cost. This is original cost of 2. So okay, so usually I don't do that. I only kind of keep one in my hands. And if I have additional one, I just put it into my energy. Alright, you're not gonna pay that 2 plus 10k. Anyways, when this card is removed by your opponent's battle area by an opponent's skill, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card and switch it to rest mode. That's good. It is a 19k dual attack though, so you can swing it 2 times and your opponent has to kind of hit 20. And during your turn, it is a 24. And also once per turn, you get to choose up to one of your yellow Android battle card, switch it to rest mode. When your opponent attacks, you get to choose one of their opponent's battle card and negate the skills for the turn. So whether this card is in active mode or in rest mode, whatever it is, when this card is on the board during your opponent's turn, it is a 24k. So it is very difficult to be taken out from a battle. I have to say again and again, because it is very annoying for your opponent to do that. But once per turn, when they attack, you tap one of your Android cards, those little 1-drops that you have all over the place. You just tap one, and you choose up to one of your opponent's battle card, not in rest mode, no energy restriction. Choose one of them and negate the skills for the turn. Good, pretty good. And one of the thing is Assault of the Android. So what's one of the tricks that you can do? It's when they swing, and then you just tap one of your Android cards. Then you negate the skills of the battle card that is in battle. So now it has no skills, and they can combo and combo because they thought they're going in for the game. You tap one and KO that card with Assault of the Androids. Excuse me. And after you KO their cards, you still can choose your leader card to get 5k power for the turn. So it's kind of like a sensu bean. Now they have to swing at your leader with 20, or you can choose up to one of your yellow battle card and gains 15k power for the battle. That is a lot though. That is like final flash for your battle cards. Yep. Alright, so let's talk about the game, and it is going to be Android 17 and 18, bringer of the apocalypse. So if there is a skillless battle card in you and your opponent's battle area, this card is reduced by 1. So this is basically a 4-cost no matter what happens, okay? It has deflag, it's triple strike, and when this card is played, you get to choose choose any number of your opponent's battle card and Unison card, and your battle card you get to choose, so you can choose whatever you want, and ignoring barrier and negate the skills of those cards until the end of your turn. No, until the end of your opponent next turn. So if it's it is basically like a full strata in mystery. So if your opponent thinks that he cannot even activate the a Unison card skill. That's how bad it is, alright? So when you play so you have a deflag triple striker that you can swing 30k during your opponent's turn, and then all the battle cards that your opponent have cannot activate their skills. They are considered skillless. One of the things is, usually my opponent always like to take care of my skillless battle card, because they thought that, okay, with 5k, without the skillless battle card, this card cannot come out at 4 costs, right? But that's actually wrong, because all you have to do is to tap one of your battle card and then make one of their battle cards skillless. Then this card you can come out at 4, because it's you and your opponent, so you can choose either one of them has a skillless battle card, this card can come out. But more than just that, if you have skillless battle card, you can choose yours, and then you said, okay, it's skillless until the end of your opponent next turn. You can place this card after you swing with the triple strike and your opponent has some way out for that. You get to place this card in your owner's drop area, then you choose up to 2 skillless battle cards with energy 4 or less and switch them to active mode. The best one is definitely your 30k swinger, but if you don't have them, choose 2 of your battle card, making them skillless so that you can restand them and go for the swing again. Alright, so basically this card is very good because it also buys you a turn, because next turn your opponent's battle card and Unison card, they cannot activate their ability unless they play the new ones, okay? So basically this is the deck itself, and I hope you like it. And maybe some options that I want to talk about, it's definitely the power of Super Saiyan. Really good card. I play 4 off because for this card, when your opponent swings, it is basically like a Zamasu super combo that you can get to draw a card. So you just activate main, just make sure you have 1 energy open, you just activate it, draw a card, and choose up to one of your opponent's battle card, and then just switch it to rest mode, just like that. So if your opponent really wants to swing, they have to think against this deck, because there's just so many ways that you can take out their battle cards, alright? And if you really need it as a negate, you can tap 1 and use it as a negate. So it's a really good card, and we play 2 of this Frieza Army Reinforcement because I kind of need a blocker to protect this. When your opponent swings, you can use your 1 drop, the 3 drop 17 and 18, and combo out of this, so to get past it, alright? And yeah, so basically this is the card that I want to talk about. It is really good because you can even choose one of your opponent's Unison card and switch it to rest mode. So if they have the Dark Marseille and the Dark Vegeta for King Cole, because that card, it's also a game ender, what you can do over here is that you can use this activate battle, draw a card, and then switch that Unison card down to rest mode. Really good. So just to continue, so we do play also the Zamasu super combo so that we can tap one of their battle cards in rest mode, because that's one thing that we want to do. Power of the Super Saiyan allows you to do that, but also we will be playing, if you have it, play it, it's Sin's Shenron Corrupted by Darkness. This card is so good because it gives you an auto which is 1 plus 10k, but if you tap 1 more energy, play him, and you can choose your opponent's leader card, Unison card, battle card equal to the energy. So if they have 4 energy, you have 4 targets, and switch them to rest mode. And in case your opponent has something to play, this card is still a blocker itself. And then during your opponent's turn, during your turn, activate main, this card becomes a 40k double striker duo attack. Usually I've never done this before because I keep my opponent at 4 life, because after that it is going to be swing with Sin Shenron, take them 1 life, because nobody wants to combo out of that 40k. If they have a negate, they will do it with Sin. Then after that I will use my 18, my skillless 30k, just to swing, tick them down to 3 lives. Then after that what I'm going to do is I play the boss monster, triple striker, just to finish the game. Really a very good deck. I enjoy this deck so much, and I hope you will too. I hope my explanation is good too and clarified for you. So if you're still here, I want to say a big thank you for listening to me throughout all these things. It's a little bit complex. I think it can get a little bit monotonous, so big shout out to you for staying with me. Give me a like if you like this video, comment if you have some questions or you want to give me some feedback, and also we'll appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Alright, so enjoy playing the game. See you guys in the next video.